Hey guys, Sims Gaming here, and as the title of the video suggests, we are going to be talking about the Silent Hill 2 remake by Bloober Team, and why I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Just a disclaimer, as I know how a lot of Silent Hill fans are, these are my opinions, that is it. You can also agree or disagree with them, but don't be harsh and don't be mean in the comments. Let's be honest, when we're talking about 2001's Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 2, it was one of the best survival horror games for that era. It was just a really different experience to the Resident Evil games. The Resident Evil games have been more monsters and things like that, and mutations, where Silent Hill was a lot more psychological and a bit more playing with your head, whereas Resident Evil was just gore and loads of zombies. Not saying that's a bad thing, but Silent Hill did it differently, and I do appreciate that. Silent Hill 2 especially was very story driven, but the monsters just happened to be along the way. Back then, because Silent Hill 2 was such a big leap in terms of graphics, gameplay and storyline, it definitely was a big improvement over the amazing but somewhat dated Silent Hill 1. But enough about the original. In come Bloober Team and Konami with a wholehearted effort of a revival of the Silent Hill franchise. Obviously people were skeptical. I personally haven't played any of Bloober Team's other titles, so I was going into this not knowing really what they're like and what their games are like. I think that was probably a good thing in my opinion, because a lot of people definitely had their opinions and their minds made up already. Let's be honest, the original Silent Hill 2, if you go back and watch the cutscenes and their gameplay and the controls, they are somewhat dated. Bloober basically have enhanced everything. The whole experience is same but different. Now what I mean is it feels very faithful, but it's updated. The control scheme is a lot better. I know a lot of people are like, oh, third person over the shoulder, great, Resident Evil clone. But in this case, it works. The cutscenes all feel like they're actually people in real life acting them out because of how sophisticated mocap technology is now. It literally is the actors interacting and talking to each other, so it definitely feels a lot more real, and I again really appreciate that. It kind of gives it a movie feel, yet it's a video game. Going back to the controls, the way you actually engage in combat I enjoy as well, as James is just a normal person. He's not a police officer or a STARS member or someone who's in special forces, so you basically just have a dodge to get out of the way of stuff. There's no counters and things like that. It makes the combat kind of gritty, which I like. Also, the gunplay is fun but simple, again because James is a normal person. He's not going to be sniping from miles away and things like that. When you move, the crosshair expands quite a bit because he has no training. It basically means you have to use your firearms a bit more cautiously. Again, I enjoy that. And I believe also that the new control scheme, being third person over the shoulder, is a lot better. Don't get me wrong, I love the old tank control fixed angle survival horror games, but third person, it just makes it a better experience overall, and it allows for better exploration of your environment too. On that subject, the environments that Bloober have created feel very authentic to the original Silent Hill 2 experience. A lot of the places are the same, and a lot of them have been expanded. There are a few things that have been changed, but overall the locations and the order that you go to the locations are very faithful. So you kind of have a feel of where the story is going if you've played the original, or if you haven't, it's still a fun experience. The locations such as Brookhaven Hospital and the prison are breathtaking. The fog as well is brilliant. I know originally it was used as more of a loading screen, but the fog in this looks absolutely amazing. It is comparable to real fog. I think the environment plays a very big part of the Silent Hill 2 remake. It just adds to that ambience of the game being very creepy and lonely and spooky. I think it reflects on James's character through the loneliness and the creepiness as well. As the story unfolds, if you haven't played the original, you'll understand why. The enemies as well are very faithful. All of the enemies, as far as I can remember, are in the original Silent Hill 2. My favourite enemies, and also the enemies I hate the most, are the double-legged mannequins. They will basically hide from you and jump out at you, and genuinely scare the absolute shit out of you. And they did a very good job of doing that the entire of my first playthrough. One of my favourite things about the Silent Hill 2 remake is definitely the characters. I think they have made really good representations of the original characters. James is fantastic. You kind of feel for him, but you kind of also don't as well. It's a really good portrayal of James Sunderland. Angela's character as well is fantastic. Because of the way mocap technology and such is now, I feel like you feel sorry for her character on a whole new level. She is a really well acted character. Bravo for that. Maria is, in my opinion, less annoying and more of an interesting character. I always found her a tad annoying in the original. I know, controversial, but that's just my opinion. Eddie is one of the best characters. He was one of the best characters in the original, but they've definitely made him even more creepy in this. A really good portrayal of that character. One of my favorite representations. Laura is more or less the same, but again, still have done a good job. All in all, the Silent Hill 2 remake is a fantastic and faithful recreation of a classic survival horror title. I do wish Konami would bring a classics collection of the original Silent Hill games, but they just don't seem to want to do that. So if you're looking to play Silent Hill 2, I would recommend the remake over the original. Again, controversial. Bear in mind, I love the original Silent Hill 2, but I'm going to find it a lot harder to go back and play it compared to the remake. In my opinion, the Silent Hill 2 remake does everything the original does, just better. I know I've only harped on about the things I like about Silent Hill 2 remake. However, there isn't much I don't like. I can't really think of anything I didn't like. I loved it from start till finish. Basically, this is just my opinion on the Silent Hill 2 remake and how I think it's a fantastic remake. It's up there with the Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2 remakes, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, this is Dim Gaming, and I'm off to go and play New Game Plus of Silent Hill 2. I'll see you in the next one.